started. Okay. I'm going to share my screen with you. Okay, I'm going to shut my camera off.
Okay.
My computer, for some reason, when I'm running my camera, it sometimes glitches out. So I'm going to shut it off, and I'm going to share my screen with you. Okay. Can you see my screen okay?
Yep.
Awesome. Okay, so we're going over today opportunities. Opportunities consists of two main pieces, phases and stages. I don't know why they named them that. It kind of makes it a little bit confusing, but once you get the hang of it, it's pretty straightforward. Opportunities is a system that we use to track our current and potential transactions within Command. So you can think of opportunities as a transaction. It's pretty interchangeable. This the opportunities allows you to track everything involved with that transaction, everything from activity checklists and offer management to potential commission income and compliance as well. The opportunity system is actually broken up into three individual pipelines. We have the listings pipeline, the buyer's pipeline, and then we have a leases pipeline. Each individual pipeline breaks down even further the transaction process into 5 different phases within the transaction. So you can see cultivate, the appointment phase, active phase, under contract phase, and then of course the closed phase. The opportunities dashboard, or this main page, shows you basically a high-level view of your business. This includes the number of opportunities per phase and the volume associated with each. It also gives you a probable commission based on where each opportunity is at in the process. And this gives you insight into overall activities within Command, basically. The phases for your pipeline are standard, so cultivate, appointment, active, under contract, and closed. Those are standard. You cannot edit them, but each phase is broken up into stages that are fully customizable. By default, there are a few stages already built into your pipeline that Command has already set up for you. You can customize these by clicking into any phase to open the pipeline. So you'll click on a phase and it'll open up that particular pipeline. So it'll look like this. We're currently looking at the listings pipeline. You can see the phases laid out across the top of the page there. The first step to setting up your pipeline is to take a look at your business kind of from like a bird's eye view, and you'll need to define each stage within the transaction or the opportunity. One thing to keep in mind, a stage is not a task. You can see the pre-made stages laid out across the top of the page, again, just below the phases. Sorry, I went backwards. There you go. So you can see the stages laid out underneath the phases. Each stage is actually a period of time within the transaction process that might have multiple tasks or outcomes that need to happen before you can move it on to the next stage. These tasks can be put into checklists, and I'll show you that in a minute. But to customize the stages, you click on Edit Stages up here at the top right-hand corner of your page. When you click on that, it's going to open up this window. You'll see a list view of your stages and then a probability for each one. Use the Add New Stage button at the top right-hand corner of that window to add a new stage, which you'll have to edit once you click on that. On each stage, you use the edit icon or the delete icon to control what's already been added. You can click and drag any of these stages up or down to reorganize it. And when editing a new or existing stage, just give it a name, a probability, and then you'll click the check mark. The probability for each stage actually represents the probability that that transaction will go all the way through to close from the stage that it's currently in. So for example, if you are in the scheduled phase of the scheduled stage of an appointment phase, and you know that, say, like 1 out of every 10 of the appointments actually goes all the way through to close and you get a commission, then there's a 10% probability that you'll close on that transaction. So you would put the probability for that particular stage at 10%. And this is where that comes into play. So we're looking at the dashboard, the opportunities dashboard. It's a general overview. And within opportunities, you'll see a commission total for each individual pipeline and stage. We take the volume of the listing. Sorry, just a second. We take the volume of the listing that you attach to each individual opportunity, look at the stage that that particular opportunity is currently in and the probability associated with that stage, and then we calculate the volume against the probability percentage set up for the stage. So we're basically showing you an estimate of your future income based on the probability that you said that transaction will close. It's a little complicated, but this is going to give you really good information in the long run. Finally, each stage has a checklist associated with it. Remember, I think I mentioned that earlier. So to edit this, you're going to click on the checklist icon. You can add or edit any items in there. The checklist will appear on every opportunity, and it allows you to check off tasks that have been completed before you move it into the next stage. It's just a really fancy, convenient way of keeping yourself organized and making sure that you're not missing any steps within the process. So do you have any questions, Michelle, about any of that so far?
So you can go into like your listings, or you can go into your buyer site, either one, and create these checklists?
Absolutely. Yep.
Okay. And how did you get right here?
So within, let me back up.
Okay.
This is actually where, so between stage name and probability, there's a whole nother column. This video was created, this little video here was created before the checklists were in there. So it's actually right here under edit the stage. So you'll click right up here at the top right-hand corner, click edit stage. And then once you open that up, it's actually going to look like this. So you'll be able to click on that checklist there to edit any of them. I don't know that any of the stages actually have pre-made checklists, so you'll have to go in and probably create all of those yourself.
Okay.
Okay, so now that you've set up your phases and your stages, and that was, we kind of glossed over it. I gave you the how, but actually doing it is going to take a lot more than that 5 or 7 minutes that we spent on it. But once you've got that built out, you can actually start creating opportunities. Each opportunity is attached to a contact in your database, and you can access and track your opportunities. Again, those are your transactions through your contacts or your opportunity dashboard. So there's 2 different ways to access those in Command, but we'll come back to that. I'm going to show you first how you actually create an opportunity. Super, super simple. To create an opportunity, you're going to click on the opportunities icon on the left-hand sidebar. In Command, it's the little handshake icon. And then you're going to click on create opportunity at the top right-hand side of the page. Once you click on that, it's going to open what's called the create opportunity form. They got real creative there. And you just fill that out. It's super simple. The one thing here I do want to point out on the bottom, you can assign it to a phase and a stage. So when you're filling this out, I would recommend that you're careful to put it in the current phase and stage that it's in within the process. You can always go back and edit this later though, and it's really simple to do. So it's not like a do or die situation when you first create the opportunity. And I'm going to walk you through moving them through the phases and stages, archiving them, closing them, all of that. We'll start with how to access them. So again, there are two different ways to access your opportunities. You can access it through contacts or through the opportunities dashboard. The first way, click into your contacts from your main page within Command. It's on the left-hand sidebar. You'll click the name of the contact. So you'll open up the contact card that you're looking for, and then you'll see in the top right-hand side of that contact card next to the timeline, you'll see opportunities. If you know exactly what transaction or opportunity you're looking for and you know the client's name, this is going to be an easy way to get to it. The other way would be accessing it through the opportunities dashboard. So this is by clicking on that handshake icon in your main page in Command, and that's going to open up your dashboard. And then you'll click into any phase on a pipeline to see your opportunities and the stage that they're in. So this one, we're looking at the listings pipeline and the active phase. And so once you open it up, you can see under active phase here, we've got pre-listing, showing, and negotiations. And you can see each contact card that's in that current phase. And then if you look right down here, this is your checklist. So you can actually see for Amy Jones, she's in the pre-listing phase. She has 0 of 8 items completed on the checklist. So she just moved into that pre-listing phase. And until those 8 items are done, she's not going to move into the showing phase.
Okay.
So in order for her to move into the showing phase, this does not happen automatically. You actually have to manually move them through the phases and stages. So once you've created your opportunity, as it progresses and you click off your little checklist items, you can click and hold the 6 dots on the left-hand side of the card and drag it to the correct stage. If you need to move it to another phase, you just drag it up to the top, just like that, and drop it. It's all drag and drop. There is also a list view available, but I think this is the preferred method of viewing your opportunities. Super, super simple. You can move them as often as you need to. You don't have to complete a checklist before you move them into the next stage or phase. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Okay, to add information or edit an opportunity after you've already created it, you're just going to click into the opportunity details. So you'll just click on that opportunity card that we were just looking at, and then you can click on that little pencil icon you can edit the general information, so on the left-hand side over here, or you can edit the property information right here. Super simple, super, super simple. You can do this as often as you need to at any phase of the process. To attach a listing to an opportunity, so there's two different, there's a listing side and then there's a buyer side to this. So on the listing side, when you get to the stage where you've taken the listing, you'll add the listing to the MLS, and then there's a little bit of a delay for that to pull through into Command. Once it's pulled through into Command, you'll click into the opportunity details, again, just by clicking on that opportunity card, and then you're going to click on Select from KWLS at the top, and then you can just find your listing, choose it, and it'll attach it to that particular opportunity.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's really amazing, actually.
Super.
On the buyer side, you'll actually do this once you get to the offer stage. So once you're in the offer stage, you'll find the Select from KWLS button in the card there, in the details card, and just, find your listing and select it and attach it from there. This is actually one of the first steps in the offer creation process. So you'll do it at a different time, of course, on the buyer side as opposed to the listing side. But
So you won't do that until you're under contract with a certain home.
Correct. Yep.
Okay.
Closing an opportunity. Okay, once you've moved the opportunity to the close phase, that just means the transaction is complete and you're getting paid. You'll be able to find the details for all of your funded transactions by checking on the close phase in your opportunities pipeline from your main page in opportunities. But the kind of catch there is it only shows the last 30 days. So if you want to see historical data past the last 30 days, you can just switch it to all opportunities search so that you can find them later. But it's not like the information disappears. It's still tracking it for your metrics and all of that. Okay. If, not if, but when you lose an opportunity, because it happens, at any time in the transaction, use the lost opportunity button. It's a little toggle button at the top right of the details page within the opportunity to close the transaction, like if a deal falls through or whatever. Okay. And this will add the lost opportunity to your metrics, which is awesome because the longer you use command, the more information it's going to be able to give you. Eventually, this will give you insight into where you're losing clients in the process so that you can dial in and really figure out how you can improve your close rate. So this is going to be super beneficial for agents in the long run.
So you're not going to lose the client, you're just losing the opportunity.
Correct. Yep.
So like if the deal falls apart and then you're starting over with that person.
Exactly. Yep.
Okay.
So this is the last thing we're going to cover today. I told you it was going to be super quick. Opportunities is actually pretty straightforward and pretty easy to wrap your head around. Archiving opportunities. So say you make a mistake when you're creating an opportunity or you're just testing out the system, which I highly recommend you do by creating like fake opportunities, add yourself in there and run yourself through the whole process as a trial. But there is a way to archive it without affecting your metrics. So when you're viewing your opportunities in any given phase, click the 3 dots on the opportunity card. And this is different. 3 dots here will open this little drop-down menu. The 6 dots is to drag and drop it into a different stage or phase. So you'll click on these 3 dots, and then you're just going to click on Archive Opportunity. The system will actually not let you archive an opportunity that's under contract or closed. So if you do have something go haywire, you're just going to have to move that opportunity out of the under contract or closed phase, just drag it into a different phase like appointment, and then you can archive it from there. Okay. Once you've archived an opportunity, you always have the ability to restore it to your pipeline. You'll just have to go into your command settings to do that.
Okay. I'm a little unsure as to why you would archive unless you are doing a practice one, but what would another reason be?
Oh my goodness. I think primarily it would be practice one or it's a great question. And honestly, I can't think of another example.
I know, I'm like, why would you archive it if you
could just go in and edit it? Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I can't think of any other reason that you would need to. I've archived, just because I have a test account, I've edited hundreds of people and then archived them multiple times. And I've tested it every which way, and you can always get them back. So if you do accidentally archive something just by misclicking or fat fingering it, just take heart that you can always get it back and it's not gone forever.
Okay.
Do you have any other questions?
No, I've done this a little bit, so I have, but it looks like it's changed a little bit too.
They have rolled out some new updates and stuff, and it's a lot more user-friendly than it was just a couple months ago. So
would you recommend, like I've had 2, and I don't know if they're even in there, I need to look, but I've had 2 closings my listing, which I think my listing is in there, and I may have moved it. I'm not sure, but would you recommend putting ones that just closed in there, just if I don't have them in there already?
No, I
Just
don't think it would. Well, unless you want to see your metrics.
yeah.
That would be the one benefit because we're already halfway through 2020. If you want to enter your historical ones so that you can plan better next year, then absolutely, I would encourage you to do that. I think that's a good point, a good idea.
Okay.
But aside from that, it's not necessary, basically.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Anything else? Nothing?
Nope. So are you going to do one on entering our the green sheet, or is Lori doing that?
Actually, there is one at noon today on Goodbye Green Sheets. I don't know if they're going to cover entering it into command. I assume so. It's an hour-long class.
Okay.
But Corey, myself, Cami, and possibly Lori as well, will be teaching more classes in the very near future on green sheets and moving into command. They
Okay.
have, I want to say, and this has been a couple weeks, but or at least a week, so it may have changed. I think July 1st was the date to start using command exclusively. I believe that's been pushed back because it's 2 weeks out. I just don't know that we're going to have you guys up to speed on the training and stuff before then.
Right.
But
Okay.
it's coming. It's coming down the pipeline. So
Okay.
we plan on doing hopefully at least 1 or 2 classes a week on it, and they will be recorded so that you guys can always go back and look at them.
Nice.
Yeah. But like I said, today at noon, there is that one class. I think it's an Ada P office, so I think it's out of, I want to say Illinois or somewhere like that. So I'm not exactly sure who's hosting it, but it should be a good one. So
Is it a Zoom or just a?
let's see. That is a Zoom meeting. Oh, Maria Murphy apparently is hosting it.
Okay. So if I put it on my calendar, then I just go click on that link, or
Yeah.
do I have to?
So
Okay.
if you go, do you have the training and events calendar?
Do I have a what?
I think I can email this to you, maybe.
Yeah, sometimes I get in really easy, and sometimes I struggle getting into the meeting. I have to go into Zoom, and then I write down the ID number and then other times I just click a link and it goes.
So I just sent you an email, and in here you'll just click on this link. So you'll open it up in your calendar, just click the link, and it'll redirect you, and then you just go open Zoom meeting.
Okay, and I don't need a password or anything?
No, if they did assign a password, it's already built into the link, so it'll automatically let you in.
Okay, perfect.
Alrighty.
Excellent. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Good to see ya.
You too. So are you guys still doing happy hours?
They were moved to once a month. I think it's the 3rd Thursday of every month, which is this week. So we will have one this week.
Okay. At 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock? 4:30? That looks like 5 o'clock. No, 4:30 to 5:30. Did I lose you? I can't hear you anymore. Oh, you've muted yourself.
There we go. Sorry. I don't know how I ended up muting myself.
It's like, you're gone. I can see you're moving around, but you're gone.
Like clicking everywhere going, what is going on? And it keeps trying to kick me out of this Zoom meeting. So I don't know what's happening. But tomorrow we have our office meeting at 9 o'clock as well. Do you need the link for that one?
Yes, I think Lori just sent it.
Oh, perfect. Okay. Awesome.
Perfect.
All right,
I'll be there.
Perfect. Well, I will see you tomorrow morning and hopefully at happy hour on Thursday as well.
Yes, sounds good.
Awesome. Thanks, Michelle.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Bye.